Some of you may remember my saying last week that I purposely amplified the problems with our speaking on that machine because I wanted to show how wonderful our sergeant at arms was. That's no joke. We are blessed, but I faced a major difficulty, a glitch. I was discombobulated. It had worked just fine, the previous subbing that I had done with his old speaker, but this new speaker, it was just beyond me. The first lesson is appreciate your sergeant at arms because he can keep us out of glitches almost entirely. Now, that episode did call to mind two other glitches in my past that I wanted to share with you and share the lessons as well. The first revolved around a rewind button, and the second dealt with a rather risque innuendo on live TV in front of a school-wide audience. Let's first rewind all the way back to when Polk County High School had no digital age. I'm talking about chunky camcorders with these big VHS tapes. I'm talking two editing machines where you took the footage of one tape and transferred it to a master tape on another big VCR. Not a little smartphone that has wonderful resolution for video and can even edit on that small device. In this first glitch episode, our school was wanting to impress the accreditation committee. We didn't just want documentation pouring out of notebooks. We wanted them to come to our auditorium and see this wonderful presentation. We had the band playing. We had the chorus singing. We had my newly begun video class playing a video, all to impress. We had practiced for weeks. My class had worked on that video just for this occasion. And we had done the warm-up just before the bigwigs came to their seats. I had played through my tape, and a committee person asked, "You want me to rewind the tape?" And I said, "Sure." Only he rewound it to the very beginning of the tape and not to the beginning of the segment. We had no counter on that VCR. We had no idea where that little segment was. And as my committee person began trying to find that location, I ducked out to my room nearby to find a second copy of the tape. But when I came back to the auditorium, my committee man had started the tape where he thought it was the right place. And I sat there with my great copy, having to watch an old version of my segment. Lesson number 2 for glitches. Sometimes a rewind does not lead to a replay, especially when it comes to committees. Now, the third glitch. For this one, our news production was shut down for 2 months. We would normally show our weekly show, and on that weekly show, we would have these introductions live. So we would hand the members of my class the tape. They would take it off to the broadcast room and give their introduction live, push in the tape, press play, and we would see what they were talking about. This particular segment that they were to play was about the basketball team of the girls. And two guys immediately said they wanted to be the anchors for this. They had never been anchors before in my class. And so I had them practice. Now, what is it that you want to say? Oh, you can't say that, I said. You have to rewrite that introduction. I stayed behind because the homeroom class came in and I had to watch my homeroom. They went off to the broadcast room with the cameraman and they chose to say what they wanted to say, not what I said don't say. I was mortified. My homeroom class laughed. The principal didn't laugh. He came in. I apologized. I apologized to the student leadership team, the teachers, but we were not able to broadcast for 2 months. What happened, though, was that glitch led to a godsend because the teacher that was in charge of the homerooms had the elite group that did all the other announcing and all the good PR stuff. And he said, Stan, let me just take over that part of the introductions. We're doing announcements anyway. And his team found out how to make a teleprompter. They built a teleprompter. So when they were looking at the camera, it looked like they were actually looking at the audience, just like they do on real TV. Next year, they came out with a polo shirt that didn't just say PCHS, it said news team at PCHS. This was a top-notch class. And it took away my worries of my more creative students not worried about GPAs having to come up with an introduction. And so I learned if you are stepping in a ditch, then step out with style. We're all going to face glitches. It's unavoidable. Some will embarrass us. Some will get us off track. But we can always hope that sometimes a glitch will let us hitch our wagon to a star.